Angels Care Home Health, serving Hays and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
They're polite. I mean, they just take the time for you.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible.
I like the Angels for what they've done for me.
Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks as always to the producer of our series, Jeff Durall. We're at Larks Park, here actually at home plate for the Larks season with head coach in his 34th season, Frank Leo. Frank, first question obviously is what brings you back year after year?
Well, you know, you say we're at home plate here, Mike, and it's like home for me in the summertime. I've been doing it a long time. My kids have grown up. They were little ones when I started coaching, and now they bring their little ones back. But, you know, I just enjoy it. It's a challenge every summer to bring kids in from different parts of the country and mold them together into a team and try to put a good product on the field. Our community support. You know, when you come out here, it's a family atmosphere. It's kind of great to see all that happening, but I just enjoy the game, enjoy the challenges. You know, every time out is a different challenge.
There's a love of baseball too, as I recall when we were putting together our visit this year for the Larks season, that Frank was out with the grandson doing a little hitting practice, huh?
Yeah, the years go by fast. You know, my girls used to be crawling around. Now I got grandsons crawling around, and you know, of course, I got to keep the arm in shape. So I got.
Well, there's some prospective Larks there, if not through the Hays High team.
I got to build a future.
Absolutely, build that future for sure. How about your coaches this year? Coming back, are they?
Yes, we'll have Keith Harper, who we talk about a little bit later. But Keith's been with me for many years for the whole stint of coaching. He's our pitching coach, does a great job with our pitchers. Jay Sanders, former Hays High player, Fort Hays player, just got married. He's going to be back again for his third year. And Dusty Washburn has coached and helped us coach for many years. Dusty had another child in January, so he's trying to get that part of his life kind of squared away, and he was great for the program, good mind for the game. But and again, another former Lark. We like to keep that in the family. But our new addition this year will be Erin Cornell. Erin played here for 4 years, an Oklahoma State graduate. He was Player of the Year in the Jayhawk League 1 year. Has a great mind for the game, and he's getting his feet wet in the coaching. He was an assistant coach at Southeastern Oklahoma this year. And he's looking forward to coming back home here and trying to help us put out a good program.
Well, Frank, it's baseball season once again in Hays, and that means Hays Larks baseball with the opening of the Colorado Sox, and it starts in a hurry and then follows with El Dorado, Hayesville, Liberal, and we'll run down some of the other schedules and some special nights here in a moment. But what can we expect from this year's Larks?
Well, first of all, the schedule is changed. It's a little bit of a challenge this year. We are playing everybody in the league. There's 8 teams in the league. 6 times, 3 home and 3 away. So they've split the league into 2 half seasons. June, 21 games in June, 21 games in July. If you win either June or July, you'll get an automatic berth into the second week of the NBC World Series, which is a big deal. If you can win June, you know you're going to be playing in that second week, so it's a key month. The other thing is the grind of the schedule this year. We will play Tuesdays through Sundays straight through. The only day off this summer is on Mondays. So 6 days in a row. We'll finish up road trips in Wichita on a Thursday night, 3-game trip. Come home to Hays and start a 3-game trip in Hays. We got a 6-day trip where we go to Oklahoma City, which is the second year in the league. Stop in Wichita on the way back. So as far as the schedule, the schedule dictated how we had to recruit this year. We had to expand the schedule. I should say expand the roster. We have now 3 catchers instead of 2. We've expanded the pitching staff. We have to have plenty of arms. So it was a little bit of a challenge to have that roster fit the schedule. But you know, we're looking forward to it. You know, I always tell our guys it's like Christmas time and I get to open up those presents. And everybody's not in at once. We'll be a little short-handed here early on with these non-league games, but as each guy comes in, there's another present to open up and see what we got.
Well, and that's the key, is that here in June, you've got to basically get started in a hurry and get the team together, get them as a cohesive unit, because it's really important in the month of June.
Well, we start league play June 7th, so we don't have any practice time. We'll have 4 non-league games prior to that. That's our practice. That's where we start to learn a little bit about the players. You put in some things. You don't have time to put them in practice. You may implement them during a game, but it's that time to kind of see what these guys can do. You get used to their personalities, how they handle themselves. It is very quick, and that's the challenge that you have every summer, is trying to get them ready to go.
Frank, who's the major threat in the Jayhawk League against the Larks this year?
Well, I think the league is very well balanced. There's some traditional names in our league, the Liberal BJs, the El Dorado Broncos, that have, made some noise at the NBC World Series. But, last year the Hayesville team put out a good team. It's only their second year in the league, and they won the league. So I don't think there's any favorite going in. If you look at maybe, history and how teams have done, you throw the Larks in there, and El Dorado and Liberal and the Wellington Heat have been very good. So it's a tough league, and playing 6 days in a row is going to be a challenge.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how the team and the coaching staff can handle the pressure on that situation, for sure. 70th anniversary of the Larks. That's quite a tradition, Frank.
It is, and I feel very blessed to be part of that over those 70 years. Of course, I wasn't here when it all started, but they got it started back in 1946 is when the name Larks was officially declared. And so this will be the 70th year. We're going to celebrate Larks baseball. Things have changed a lot in the program. I tried to keep it going. I know when I was playing in my early days here, Laverne Shoemaker's wife Jane did a great job of maintaining the Larks program, and then Barb and I kind of took over. We're the new Laverne and Jane, and it started slow, but the program has really grown, and it's part of Hays. It's part of the Hays community.
Well, yeah, summertime, family, fun, and Larks, it just all fits together.
And it is. It's a family atmosphere down here, and it's great to see the people come down, the little kids come down when the game's over at the end of the night, and it is sometimes 9:30, 10 o'clock. We still have a lot of kids running the bases, and parents can't get them off the field. So that's the fun thing about it. We want it to be that kind of atmosphere.
And when you look at Larks history, this has been a team that has consistently showed up at the NBC World Series, 16 top 10, 4 second-place finishes in the NBC World Series. These guys come to play, don't they?
And that's what when they get here, we build them on that opportunity to play at the World Series, and it's a big event. They get exposure, but there's great competition there. So you have to sell the guys. At the end of the year, they're a little tired. It's close to school time. There's some years where guys may have 3 or 4 days after the World Series to get home and get back to school. So it's a tough period of the summer for them. They've been going through the grind of college all year long. So you really got to work on the mental frame. And we've had some great runs, and it's a fun tournament. You stay in that thing, win a couple games, and we can talk a little. I need to talk a little bit about the format that's changed on that, but it gets exciting down there.
The games, of course, home games, again this year, thanks to your sponsors, will offer free admission, which is just a great plus again.
Oh, and I don't know if the public, the whole community is aware of that. We don't charge to get into our games. Concession stand prices are reasonable. You can come down here, and if you like baseball, like being out in a beautiful evening in a beautiful park, it's a great place to be. So it is free admission. We have sponsors that we call Buy Out the House that night, and it's free admission. And we can't exist without sponsors. Without obviously put a program on like this, you need funding, and the sponsor nights help us reach that goal.
Well, and Gerard Welbrock still says that the Larks hot dogs are still the best in town.
Well, everybody's got their favorite down there. We got good hot dogs, brats, hamburgers. Larry Praise, our chief barbecue guy back there, and he does a tremendous job.
Talk about the host families too, if you would, Frank, because once again, these kids come from all over the country, and they can really get a connectivity to Hays thanks to the host families.
You know, it is the backbone, and I call it is the backbone. It's the heart and soul of Larks program. Without host families, we wouldn't be able to do this, Mike. I don't want to bring kids in and put them in an apartment. You know, it's kind of a cold feeling there. So they become part of the community right away. They get in with a family. They have a connection there with Hays, and it's might be a little scary at first for the families when they first do it, the first year people. But once they get in and get involved, sometimes it gets pretty hard at the end of the summer for those people to say goodbye. So there's some lasting relationships. I've heard one host mom, as we call them, say that she got a call on Mother's Day from her host sons, and so that's kind of neat to see those things happening and the connections that are made.
What's the connection? How do folks who might want to think about being a host family for a Lark player?
You know, number one, if they know somebody that's hosted a player, that's our best salesman. They can talk to those people and see what the experience was like. Your responsibilities, basically, you're not going to cook every night because we're at the ballpark or on the road every night. So this year, Monday nights will be the only night that maybe they can get together for a family type meal. But families got Little League going on too. So it's more or less having a place for them to stay, do laundry, have some food around the house for them, and connect with the family.
So host families are your best salespeople.
They are the best salespeople. My wife Barb is in charge of that program, and she does a tremendous job with it. It's not easy. You'll lose some families. Some families move away. Their kids grow up. So she has to work pretty hard at it. She starts at it in October, and we finished up. We got our last host family about 2-3 weeks ago. So it's a continuing process. This year with the expanded roster, we needed more host families. So it's always good to get, that extra supply of people that are interested, at least, talk about it. Either talk to a host family or give Barb a call.
Let's talk a little bit about the relationship that you and Keith Harper have had. Going back to those Hays High years, that's been quite a connectivity.
Yeah, well, it goes back before that. Keith was a freshman at Fort Hays State, and I was a senior, so we started our connection playing baseball in this ballpark. Keith was from Colby and I was from New York, so it's pretty far apart, but we connected, and it's been a great relationship. We kind of, we blend well together. Keith has his things that he does well, and I have things that I do well, and it kind of comes together, and it's a lasting relationship. Not only on the field, our families are real close together. Our kids grew up together, but he's a great guy to have around. He's very knowledgeable of the game. But the big thing is, he's willing to do whatever it takes, and you have to have assistants that are willing to do that, and Keith has done that. I mean, our relationship started coaching-wise back at Hays High in 1981, so that goes back a long time. We built a field out there at the high school, put in a lot of hours out there, but it's something that this is what Keith and I have. We have baseball in our blood, and we're not worried about how much work it's going to take. Let's just get it done.
And a lot of that work goes into Larks Park here too, with the volunteers that come in to help out in so many areas, Frank.
Oh, this park, from when Keith and I played here for Fort Hays State, it's come a long way. And when the Larks were first formed in 1946, and baseball goes back prior to 1946 here in Hays, but that's when the official Larks name happened. But we played on a dirt infield, had wood light poles inside the field. What a beautiful place. I mean, Fort Hays State and the city kind of got this whole thing going of kind of getting renovations done, and they've done a tremendous job. The turf is outstanding. I mean, you come to the ballpark, you don't have to worry about mud and rain, and you can get back on the field sooner. So it's a tribute to a combination of what Fort Hays State and the city has done, and then this off season we kind of dressed up out here the concession stand area for our fans, and that was a combination of the city and the Larks program and donors and in-kind services, and basically that's the way this ballpark has been erected over the years. People enjoy coming out here. They want to give something back, and they help us do these jobs.
We're going to take a closer look at Larks Park with Frank Leo, and also about this year's schedule with some special nights coming up that you'll be interested in hearing more about with head coach of the Hays Larks in his 34th season, Frank Leo, as we continue our community connection.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hays and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
And the Angel Care nurse comes to see me once a week.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible.
Angel Care has helped to stay home.
Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
Welcome back to our Community Connection. We're at home plate at Larks Park, ready for the 34th season of Larks baseball in Hays with head coach of the Larks, Frank Leo. And we start out by talking a little bit about the coming season for 2016. And Frank, there are some special events that are coming up that parents and kids are going to want to know about.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about our schedule. We try to bring get the community involved and honor the community, people that do things in this community, and make it a community fair. We want the people to feel like, you know, they're part of this Larks family, as we call it. Not only the players, but our fans, the community, the support we get. So we have a lot of special nights. Little League night is our first one coming up, and that'll be on the 9th of June. We invite all the Little Leaguers out. We'll honor them before the game. They'll get a freeze pop after we honor them. They get to run bases after the game. So great night to kick off and get the Little Leaguers going. But, you know, as we proceed through the summer, you know, we try to have try to hit all the entities around town. We have a first responders night where, you know, we'll honor anybody involved in law enforcement, our fire department, ambulance service. We try to get all our first responders out here and honor them on that night. That's coming up on June 17th.
Bethany, Oklahoma will be the team.
Bethany will be in town. And then the big night is our military appreciation night, Mike. And they decorate this ballpark. You know, you're proud to be an American that night because you see American flags are flying all over the place. And we honor all the veterans. And that night's coming up on June 19th. And if you haven't ever been out here to see a military appreciation night, it's quite a treat. Mike Armsdorf is the one that kind of puts that all together and does a great job. But, you know, we have, I think last year we had 8 or 9 World War II veterans, and bless those guys. You know, we're losing them. You know, those guys are getting up there in the ages. But we had probably over 100 veterans or current military people lined up on the field out here. They covered the whole field. Wow. Pretty impressive. It's a great night. You got to get out early. We do it before the start of the game. It happens about 6:45. But it's a great time to come out and give thanks, you know, after coming off of Memorial Day yesterday, thanks to these people that have served our country. From there, we'll spring into our version of Oktoberfest. We call it the summer version of it, Larkstoberfest. We'll have German food out here, polka band. That's coming up on June the 25th.
Yeah, with Derby.
Derby.
And you got one with Hayesville in July.
And you know, that's the big one. July 8th that's the weekend we will celebrate 70 years of Larks baseball. And we plan on having you know, band down here, some jazz music playing prior to the game, between innings. We'll have some anniversary cookies we're going to give away. And we're going to make it a special night. We'll celebrate. It's going to be like a party, and we'll have a little social after the game that night. We're trying to get back former Larks players from the years way back and from my era. I'm working hard and trying to get the 95 bunch back, which, you know, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But it should be a fun night. We want it to be a festive night. We want people to come out and enjoy and celebrate where Larks baseball was, how it's been such a tradition here, and how, you know, we want to continue to make it be a great tradition in Hays.
So mark your calendar for July 8th. It'll be Hayesville for the 70th anniversary of the old-time Larks baseball. And then right after that, another special event.
Yeah, you know, we like to help the community assistance, and we want to pack the park. We have a Pack the Pantry night coming up. I forget what that date is, but it's where we have, there's no admission, but we ask people to bring canned goods to the ballpark that night, and we'll bring them over to the Community Assistance Center. From there, we go into what we call Pink the Park night, and it's breast cancer, cancer awareness, and we're going to have a few special things this year, and we try to give back to the Cancer Society. We're going to have a pink bat autographed by the Larks we'll be giving away. A couple of the balls that the major leaguers use on their breast cancer awareness days. There'll be a major league ball with pink seams on it, and we'll be autographing those and giving them away that night. So it's a special night. I know the city of Hays does a great job with cancer awareness, and we're just happy to be part of that and contribute and do our part to make people aware. And then Educators Night, like I said, we want to honor everybody in this community, and it's a big thing about Hays is it has a great educational system. It has great elementary schools. You have your choices of schools you can go to. You have a great college here. You have your private schools. It's just, we want to honor those people. We want to get them all out. And I think the first 100 people we give T-shirts to, first 100 educators we give T-shirts to. And we'll give them, I think last year, we gave them an apple. It's just our way of saying a little thank you, bringing them out to the ballpark, and having our community say thank you to these people. That really is the backbone of our community.
We mentioned the NBC World Series, of course, and that's the ultimate goal, I guess you could say, for the Hays Larks. 16 out of the top 10 and 4 second-place finishes at the NBC World Series. A little format difference this year, Frank.
3 years ago they went to the 32-team, 2-16-team brackets, where they call it the play-in 16, and top 2 from there advance to the championship week. Well, now they've taken it to another level, and each part of that tournament, each 16-team tournament, is now going to have pool play. There'll be 4 pools of 4 teams. You'll play everybody in your pool, so you're guaranteed 3 games before you're only guaranteed 2. The 4 pool winners will advance to the semifinals and finals, and that's the same way as the championship week. So it's a different format. It's going to be interesting to see how they set the pools. But it's different, and hopefully that's going to kind of inject a little spice into that tournament. They want to do something different. I think this is a big step.
Are you on board with that?
I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. They also are telling us that you will not play back-to-back days. Sometimes that's good and it's bad, but you'll play every other day with that format, the way they're setting it up. So I'm excited to see how it works. I'm always in for change and see, some kind of new challenge.
One of the premier, I guess maybe you might come on board with this, one of the premier things that really elevated the Larks program was back in 1995 with Lance Berkman and that game against Team USA.
Yeah, that's always a memory, and it seems to come up every summer to talk about it. And really it was the 95 team that kind of got the Larks on the map. We had some good runs prior to that, but it was 95 where it was the David and Goliath show, basically. You got Team USA that it was the Olympic team that was going to the Olympics the next year. They had no postseason tournament to go to, so the NBC invited them to play against all these summer collegiate teams. And it was quite a challenge. But the game against Team USA, and the team I had, it was just a comeback team. And of course, we had a lot of great players on there. The highlight name was Lance Berkman. He was the MVP of the tournament. It seemed like when we needed a home run, Lance came up with it. And so that was kind of the marquee game at that tournament. We've had some other second place finishes since then, and we've been knocking on the door, but 95 was a great run, some great comeback wins, and just a gritty bunch that never quit. And just to relive that last couple days story, the semifinal game was played on Friday against El Dorado. We got 1 inning in, and the rains came. They pushed the semifinal game back to noon on Saturday in the blistering heat, and it was so muggy that day from the rain, and we had a slugfest with El Dorado. We were behind. We came back and beat them. I think it was like 14-13. Well, both teams are exhausted. Both teams used resources to try to win that game. Well, we have to turn around in I think they gave us about an hour, 2 hours, turn around to come back and play the championship game against Team USA. And you know, our guys were, you know, they were tired, but they were excited. You know, we had no pristine uniform to come out and go back to a hotel and change. We came back in the same old dirty grubs we had on playing in that semifinal, and those guys played their heart out. So it was a fun memory. But and those guys, I talked to some of them occasionally. Now it's a bigger memory. When you're in the kind of the heat of the battle, it's hard to enjoy and realize what's going on and what you're doing. But to take Team USA into the 8th inning and have a lead in the championship game, it's something that those guys at that time didn't realize what they're doing. But now, many years later, it's like a fish story. It gets bigger and bigger.
Well, and that's the kind of thing that keeps the juices flowing for the coach too, right?
Exactly.
I want to throw out a couple of names here if I could. Buck O'Neill, Tony Gwynn, Barry Bonds, and Frank Leo, all members of the National Baseball Congress Hall of Fame. Congratulations,
well,
Frank Leo. Well deserved, might we say.
You know, it's an honor to be amongst all those guys, but it's an honor just to represent this program, the community of Hays. Those are some great people, and there's been some great baseball players that have come through that NBC tournament that have been put into the Hall of Fame, and you know, it's just special to kind of be there with them. But the special part for me is being to bring the name Hays to that tournament, to be in the NBC. But I'm representing this community. So.
Well, and one of the former players, the name Nick Goza, comes up. Nick had some really glowing things to say about the work and the effort of Frank Leo that he puts into coaching, and the things that he teaches these young athletes who go on and take these skills and take them to a higher level. And Nick had some very, very wonderful things to say about the method Frank Leo uses for coaching and teaching.
Well, you know, I don't want to say it's off the cuff, but you know, it's just being around kids and understanding there's more to it than the game. Their aspirations are to try to play in the major leagues. I mean, there's no lying about that. But you know, it's a tough road to haul. So you know, you got a lot of life's lessons you're going to learn in this game, and there's some tough losses that you know you got to bounce back from, just like there's some tough things in life. But you know, Gozer again was one of my most recent favorites. We call him the Goz. But you know, just a guy that he's a team guy. He came out here and became a Lark, and represented the program well, both on and off the field. He was a guy that wasn't going to be a major leaguer, but he wanted to play college baseball, and he got the most out of it. But that's the fun part about this, Mike, is to run into kids like that. I shouldn't call them kids, men like that come out here and want to be part of this program. And you know, so it's more about the relation. You know, it's the immediate part is what's going on the field, but it's the lasting relationships you have with these guys when they leave here. And the memories.
Frank Leo, 34th season as head coach of the Hays Larks, and might we add too, speaking of numbers, since he's a math teacher, we got to be careful on our numbers here, but Jeff and I were kind of working on this, and we came up with the combination of Hays High and Larks baseball, 67 years for Frank Leo and Hays Larks and Hays High baseball. And congratulations again.
Thanks bunch, Mike. It's just a pleasure to be here. You know, for a New Yorker to come out to Hays, Kansas many years ago, and now it is my home. It's a special place.
And New York is now just a place to visit.
Exactly.
And we are all the benefits for it.
It is a great place to visit, but you know, I am very happy that you know, my path led me to Hays, and this is where I'm at.
Frank Leo, our community connection.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hays and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
And the Angel Care nurse comes to see me once a week.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible.
Angel Care has helped to stay home.
Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.